All right, girl in the middle, boys either side. Boy in the middle, ladies either side. Okay, Mike's here. So the idea of this is just a little panel for 10 minutes or so. And what we're wanting to do, what we have here, no, hang on to that too, Armand, because then we can reduce the... What we're wanting to do is just to have a talk about the school, and we want to include you as well. And what we have here are 3 alums from the 70s, and they'll introduce themselves very briefly in a minute. And what we have here are 3 students, one of whom is still at the school, and 2 of whom have just left the school, and they'll introduce... Well, why don't we do the introductions first, please?
All right, so my name's Guylaine. I was here in 78, 79, so that's 40 years ago. And I live in the south of France, in Provence, where I've always lived.
Hi, my name is Armin. I was here from 72 to 77. Currently, I live in Germany and India and travel quite a bit throughout the world.
Hi, my name is Laís, and I was here from 70 to 74. And I'm originally from Brazil, and I live in California, Santa Barbara.
Okay. Hello, my name is Joel. I'm still a student here. I've done 4 years, and next year will be my 5th and final year.
I'm Ainara. I come from Barcelona, Spain, and I came here in January 2017, and I just finished in June.
Hi, my name's Kai Song. Not working. Hi, my name's Kai Song. Nice to meet you all. I just left Brockwood. I've been here for the last 4 years, and yeah, I'm British Australian, and I've loved it here. Yeah.
So I'll just ask a couple of questions to get us going, and then if you out there have questions or comments, or perhaps you could raise a hand and we could address them to anyone here on the panel. So I'd like to just ask, let's start with Guylaine. What was your first memory of coming to Brockwood?
So I was a 14-year-old, so I was young, and I had been to England before, and it seemed there wasn't much in common between Brockwood and the rest of England, apart from baked beans. And then talking to some other people yesterday, especially Sarah, we both realised that folk dancing was something important, something new to us, that seemed very joyful, cheerful, and both staff, pupil, everybody joining in, and that was very nice. And then the kitchen work, everybody joining in there too. So all of a sudden, a place where you felt that you could just put down your sword and shield and enjoy everything.
Yes. I remember coming here when I was 13, the year before I had my perspective week. I was with family and friends on holidays in London, and we came here for a day. And I remember I really didn't want to come, but my mom knew the school and she really wanted to visit. And basically, after being here for a couple of hours, I decided that I wanted to come for a perspective week. Yeah, and I'm really happy I did.
Thank you. Laís, your first memory?
See, I arrived a couple of months after the year had started, and the warmth with which all the students came up to me was really amazing. And the other thing is the teachers were all mixed in with the students. It's like, wow, the teachers are your friends, are part of your daily life. So that was amazing to me. And the last amazing memory I have was I didn't speak much English at the time. And shortly after I arrived, there was a talk with Krishnaji. And I didn't understand what he was saying very much, the English. But I really sensed that this was a special person. I didn't really know much about him before I came. My dad was the one who sent me here. And I sensed there was something really amazing about this man that I wanted to know more about. So that was a great introduction to Brockwood.
Thank you.
I was 12 when I came, and I have to say, I still remember I was very taken by the openness of everybody and the interest in people had for people, and that has still remained until today, and that's been sort of one of the main factors. And even my son experienced that a couple of years ago, thanks to Bill, and yeah, just for a week, but wonderful, that general interest, and I hope we can always keep that alive. Thanks.
And a different question. Kai Song, what have you found to be difficult about your time at Brockwood? You're just finishing it.
What I found, I guess one of the things I always found the hardest about being in Brockwood, and actually one of the greatest things, was the people. Being around so many different people is often, Brockwood was like a very new experience to me, and living with a community of 100+ people was very scary when I first came, and throughout the years it taught me a lot. And I don't know, that is probably for me one of the most difficult things about Brockwood, being in a community, dealing with people you have difficulties with, dealing with, you know, your own feelings about being around people. And yeah, that would for me be one of the hardest parts about my experience in Brockwood, and the greatest, yeah.
Okay. Joel, what's difficult?
Yeah, I think I find probably all the restrictions that come about when living in a community quite difficult. But it's also great learning for me because, you know, you need to have certain restrictions in life, even if they're self-imposed. So I think, yeah, there are a lot of, you know, agreements and rules that we, you know, come up with together that make sense, but are also difficult. I think I found that hard.
Okay. Ghislaine, would you like to address a question to one of these three charming young?
Okay, I hadn't thought about this, but I was thinking you were going to ask me what did you find difficult, and so I'm
Please
surprised,
respond. No,
but
respond
that's
to
fine
that.
because since they have given answers about this, and did you? I was going to say I found everything extremely easy, quite the opposite. So restrictions, I understand what you mean, and maybe that all depends on the background you came from, and maybe the generation gap here, because the education I'd had, the background in France, was very traditional. So, in fact, Brockwood was quite the opposite. There were more openings, more possibilities. You could do anything you liked. And so that's something maybe that would have been quite different.
And I think the problem is that, Joel, you've always lived here, yes? Joel was born here. Okay. Ayanara, would you like to address a question to Lais about the school in the early days? Have you...
I'm not prepared for this. It's actually something I've wondered. The food. Has it? I mean, I don't know if you've been coming regularly, but do you feel like it's changed a lot since you were here as a student?
Oh, take this one.
Yes. Sorry. I was number 14, meaning there were 14 students when I arrived. Yes, I remember asking, and oh, you're number 14. So it was very small, and the cook was like amazing, and so we had very special dishes, being created. But as the school grew in size, then it became a lot simpler. So the memories of the wonderful food were from way back then, my 4th year. And I still love the food here, but it's less elaborate. Is that a difficulty for you?
Okay. Sorry, do you want to respond to that?
No, I like the food as well.
Okay. Kai-san, would you like to address a question to Armin?
Okay. How about since you, can everyone hear me? Yeah. Since you left Brockwood, has your memory and your view of the place changed much? Do you regard it with, I know some people may leave the place in a bad place or in a great place, and as time goes by, they look back and think, actually, maybe my time here wasn't as I thought it was, if you get what I mean?
Actually, it's a little bit, when you lose something, even though I never lost Brockwood, but when you leave, you sometimes realize what you leave behind, and that was an experience that has grown until this date, that whatever I experienced here in Brockwood was something extremely special, and it's been with me and grown within me my whole life and influenced my whole life.
Thank you. Amma, would you like to fire a question back to Kai-san?
What having that great possibility of being here, what will you do after you leave Brockwood?
As some of you might know, I'm yet to figure that out. No, unfortunately, I'm not one of the people who's got a path in life. So I'm going to be a wanderer for the next conceivable future. It's given me great tools to find out what I want to find. Yeah.
Okay, a question to you all. If you had to say that there was a single thing that you took away from it, the most important thing for you, Lais, would you like to?
It was discovering the richness of the inner life. As a teenager, I was very outward, motivated, but finding a way, kind of like a path or developing a muscle, so to speak, to find a place inside of me that then I still have it. I keep coming back to that, to face the storms of life. So that was really something that was the biggest gift I got. And it's wonderful to realize that I still carry that with me.
Thank you. Ghislaine?
So one of the things, obviously, is giving me very much confidence in many ways, and that I almost enjoy actually struggling through certain situations in my job, because then I think, not back as a recipe sort of thing, thinking, okay, what would Brockwood people have done in that situation, but feeling confident, feeling I'll manage to deal with this. So that's a bit sounds a bit presumptuous, but not being afraid of things occurring. And I don't know how I'm going to go about things, but I just feel it's there somewhere. Whether it was there before, I don't know. Brockwood just helped feel more confident completely. Yes.
Interesting. Because Krishna Ji used to talk about the difference between self-confidence and confidence without the self.
Okay, just to mention, I feel terribly bad about not having read much of Krishnamurti's stuff. Sometimes I thought, okay, I will deal with it at some point when I'm retired. And in another way, I feel I don't really want to go back to certain things. Okay, I listened to him when he was there. We've listened to him through talks, and yes, I read my monthly bulletin, yearly bulletin or whatever. But it's almost even better not knowing precisely what he or what people would have said in that situation, but as a whole, just as a warm feeling.
Thank you. And Ainara, what's your...
I think the continuous learning about relationships, both between myself and others and also with myself. I feel like since I came to Brockwood, I started a very long journey that I haven't finished, in which I've learned a lot and explored a lot about the way I relate to other people and the way I react and the way I function and the same with other people as well. And I don't feel like it's something that I've learned here and now I have that knowledge. It's more that the learning process started here, and Brockwood really supported that and made it easy for it to happen. Yeah, and also I've been reflecting so much more on why I react in certain ways when I get into a conflict, or when something that makes me feel uncomfortable happens, or yeah, I think that's one of the things. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we're getting a little short of time, so perhaps a couple of questions from the floor. Anyone got a pressing question out there? Could you raise your hand? You have for any individual on the stage. Gregory has a question. Oh, Moses. Okay. Do you want to address to any individual? Or? Okay, I'll choose. Well, let's start with Armin first, and then we'll direct it this way.
Well, I always felt we were as close as one can be. I mean, with a person that teaches you math, or I still remember listening to Harsh where he said, Armin, you can't memorize it, you have to understand it. You have to understand the principle, and that has sort of remained with me. I mentioned that to him the other day. I don't know where he is, but anyway. So, yeah, no, I felt there was a tremendous closeness, especially if you compared Brockwood's situation to other schools that are out there. And I think that is something we all have to keep in mind, yeah.
Thank you. And Yoel.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know where you heard those rumors from, but I really don't think that it's, I don't know, the connection with staff members has decreased at all. Like, I really think I feel very close with almost all the, staff members in Brockwood, all the teachers. And so, I don't know, I feel like I can't compare, I wasn't there before, but I think it's as close as you can be.
Kaisang?
Yeah, I think obviously it depends on people. I mean, some people can go through life, just spending most of their energy with people their own age. Other people, have some of their closest relationships are with a student being with having a relationship with a staff member. Actually, well, that sounds funny. But you get what I mean. Now, like, personally, I know many people who some of their best friends are staff members. So, and it depends on which staff members are there that year. Some people make a lot of effort to be like really friendly with the students. Others want to keep it more professional, and they're non-residentials. So it's it's very relative. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, panel. That was great.